Video we will discuss regarding the introduction and scope of veterinary pathology. The word pathology is Greek word. Patho means disease and logos means science. It is the science of disease. The literal meaning of pathology is study of disease or discourse of disease. Pathology is study of the functional and morphological alterations in the tissues and fluids of the body during the disease. Now let us come to the definitions of veterinary pathology. The first one is health. It is the normal condition of the body and mind, that is, with all the parts functioning normally. And next is disease. Any deviation from or interruption of normal structure or function of any body part, organ or system that is manifested by a characteristic set of symptoms and signs whose etiology, pathology and prognosis may be known or unknown. In simple words, disease is any departure from healthy state. Then etiology. It is the science which deals with the causes of disease. It is study of cause of the disease. And the next one is incubation period. It is the time period between the action of cause and manifestations of the disease. Now let us come to the pathogenesis. Pathogenesis is the mechanism by which the causes produce disease, which means the agents how they will interfere with the body system to produce a disease. In case of clinical signs, these are nothing but the outward manifestations of the patients suffering from the disease, and these are usually recorded by the doctor. Now let us come to the lesions. Lesions are the changes in the tissue structure. They may be macroscopic, which are visible to naked eye, or microscopic, which can be visualized by using microscope. Now let us come to the pathognomic lesions. Pathognomic lesions are the lesions which are characteristic for a particular disease, which means if in case of sheep, if we notice the hemorrhages at the base of pulmonary artery and the base of aorta, which always indicates that the affected sheep is having the blue tongue disease, which means the lesion hemorrhages at the base of pulmonary artery and the base of aorta is always indicates that sheep is having the disease of blue tongue. We can come to confirmation that the animal is maybe affected with a particular disease only by using the pathognomic lesions. Therefore, they are the characteristic for a particular disease. Now let us come to the course of the disease. Course of the disease is the duration of time through which the series of changes characteristic of a disease pass through their ultimate end. And in case of termination of disease is the recovery or death, or may prolong for a considerable length of time, as in case of chronic disease. At the termination of the disease, there may be a recovery or death, or in case of a chronic disease can also be occur. Now the diagnosis is the art of determination of the nature of disease, its causes, symptoms, lesions, etc. of the disease. Now let us come to the morphological diagnosis. Morphological diagnosis involves diagnosis based on the alteration observed in a tissue or organ. That is, naming the lesions, for example, pneumonia, that is inflammation of lungs, enteritis, that is inflammation of intestine, like that. In case of etiological diagnosis, where a specific cause of the disease can be identified, that is naming the cause of the disease. For example, cause of pneumonia is maybe bacteria, maybe virus, maybe fungus, or maybe foreign body. In morphological diagnosis, we mainly focus on the alterations observed in the tissue or organs, and in etiological diagnosis, where we mainly focus on the specific cause of the disease. Now let us come to the specific or descriptive diagnosis, where pathognomical lesions are characteristic for the disease, and those can be observed. In case of Jones disease in cattle, the lesions such as corrugated appearance of the intestine is the pathognomical lesions, and by using this we can come to the conclusion that the affected animal is suffering from the Jones disease. And as the same way, in case of gluten, as the earlier we just studied that hemorrhages in the base of aorta and pulmonary artery, this lesion indicates that the sheep is suffering from the gluten disease. And these are the definitive diagnosis or specific diagnosis. And the next type of diagnosis is differential diagnosis. In this type, we diagnose a disease by differentiating it with the other disease. This can be based on the clinical and pathological findings, and this is the first step in diagnosis. Now let us come to the prognosis. Prognosis is nothing but the pronouncing probable or expected outcome of the disease, and sequelae is the final end result of the disease. And morbidity, as you all know, it is the percentage of affected animals that get exposed. For example, if the 100 is the number of exposed animal, and within the exposed animal, if the 50 animals are affected, and the morbidity rate is 50 divided by 100 into 100, we get morbidity percentage is 50. And in case of mortality rate is percentage of death among the animals affected by the disease. For example, if 100 animals are exposed to a disease, and within exposed 100 animals there are 60 affected animals, and the morbidity is 60. But in case of mortality, what happens? There are death among the affected animals is 30. Then number of deaths are 30 divided by affected animals, that is 60. 30 divided by 60 into 100, we get 50. That is mortality rate is 50. That is 30 divided by 60 into 100, which gives 50% mortality rate. Now, then comes to autopsy. Autopsy is the technique of seeing with one's own eyes, where the pathologist cut open the tissue to see the lesions in the disease. And in case of necropsy technique, it is the examination of the carcass. Now let us come to the biopsy. A biopsy is examination of biological samples such as fluids, tissue, which can be collected from living animals. Now let us come to the scope of pathology. It's aid in the diagnosis of diseases. Pathology helps in understanding the disease process. Hence, it aids in prognosis, control, and the rational treatment and its prevention are possible with the help of pathology. Now, let us come to the branches of pathology, which involve general pathology, systemic pathology, spatial pathology, and clinical pathology. In general pathology, it deals with the fundamental processes that are common to more than one tissue or organ. And in case of systemic pathology, where it study of a disease pertaining to certain systems or organs. And in case of spatial pathology, here the study of diseases which are caused by the specific microbial pathogens. And in case of clinical pathology, is that branch of pathology used in the diagnosis of disease in the hospital at the patient bedside. And pathology applied to find the solution to clinical problems, especially the use of laboratory methods in clinical diagnosis. In case of comparative pathology, here we will study the disease of animals and comparing them to those occurring in a man. And in case of nutritional pathology, here we study the diseases resulting from the deficiency or excess of nutrients. And in case of experimental pathology, here the study of diseases, those which are artificially produced in the animals by the experiment. And in case of chemical pathology, which deals with the alterations in biochemical processes in diseases. And in case of toxicopathology, which mean the study of disease which are caused by toxic substance. And oncology is nothing but the study of tumors. In next video, we will discuss what is etiology, its definition, its classification.